Alrighty. It's that time again. Good morning, good morning. Interesting, is this a new stock? No. No, this one just has super low volume. Yeah, super low volume. It's a lower float. And this is a stock that hasn't really pumped in like a year, really. This does have news. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Right. This stock seems like it could be better just for the wildcard setup, because this is a stock that hasn't really moved much. Right? I mean, looking at the yearly, this is basically flat. We've seen a couple spikes, though, I suppose, right? Here was one. This was back in October. BEEM. Yeah, CB moved. Looks like it's pulled back a bit. When did it move? It looks like it moved this morning, about an hour ago. Okay. Let's go ahead and replace these. It's schwabbed. Oh no. Alright, let's see what ends up happening with this one. Pretty big move initially, right? 120, 180. 60-cent move in 5 minutes is pretty fast. Okay, notably this candle has high volume, so be patient with it. Yeah, these two front candles that moved up had extremely low volume rates. 1700 for this first one is super, super low. Yeah, I think we're seeing this happen more, where stocks are just being affected by Schwab more lately. They're really trying to crack down on the low float stocks. So it's really just kind of rolling over here. Hmm. Looking a lot like just a pump and dump straight up. China plus low float. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, the catalyst is okay, but yeah. Good morning, Telemann. Good morning, everybody. Now that we got 10 people here, just want to give a quick disclaimer. Today is going to be lighter size. This is more of a correction day, so lighter size. This is just completely rolling over. Oh, this is horrid. Gave back 60% of the move in 3 minutes. This one just would have been really tough to touch. Good morning, Flip Flop. Very nice recovery on this, though, despite everything. This didn't roll all the way back over. We had a nice little bounce here, 44 to 64. It's a 20-cent bounce. Interesting that this had volume that was higher than all of these candles. If this wasn't a Chinese company, I would trust it more. But I don't know. At 164 all the way back down. And our XP looks like it's moving, yeah. Good volume coming in here. Announces 70,000 patent data. Real-world use of ketamine for treatment. Suicidal depression. Man, that's quite a sentence. That is quite a sentence. I had to read that like phrase by phrase. It's just like, oh my. Ketamine treatment. That's an interesting one. This stock has a history of kind of being whiplashy. Has a higher float. Still interested in FAMI though. I know it's a Chinese stock, but this feels quite oversold. Curious if we get one final leg down here. That might have been the bottom. You're on E-Trade. Can't buy FAMI. You can't buy it on E-Trade either. Interesting. Yeah, we're starting to see a situation come up where some of these free brokers are just not letting you buy these stocks. From what I can tell, Weeble's not having this problem. Right, there was one stock I couldn't trade, but it was a reverse split, so there might have been a situation around that. But this could be something that happens in the future where free brokers start restricting these stocks. So time to curl into immediate rejection, but on low volume. Lower volume, still 500,000. Yeah, that could have been another buy point. Yeah, this is quite oversold now. We've given back the whole move. Typical Chinese stock. Some uptick in volume. Uptick in volume down here. Very interesting. NRXP still rocking. Pivot to that for a moment. This one's a little sketchy just because of how this started with low volume here. Right, you had this big pop up on what was essentially like 20,000 shares of volume. It's almost like someone knew this was going to pop before it did. So is it the daily EMA? Seems about right. 277 is also an area to look for. All right, it's clear daily resistance. It's the previous pump here. Getting nice volume on all these candles. Very, very bullish, but I'm just afraid I'm too late. How do I check out the country or origin of a stock? I just usually Google it, right? I just go on Google, type in the ticker, and see what pops up. I can check it real quick for NRXP, for example. Yeah, so it looks like Delaware. Wellington, Delaware. For this one. Good morning, Siobhan. Good morning, good morning. No trades for me yet. Almost pulled the trigger on FAMI, but didn't get quite a clean enough setup. It is possible I am over-calibrating today. There was a couple setups that maybe FAMI was executable on, but I was looking for something super, super clean. And that is part of the calibration thing you got to do too. When you're in a state where you're jumping in things too quickly, when you try to calibrate, sometimes you over-calibrate as a result, and you end up being too selective. Which could be fine. It's better to be over-selective than under-selective, I think. Okay, same for me would be with the Googling ticker. Yeah, feels like a hassle. Would like to have it somewhere in the Webull or Thinkorswim. Yeah, I mean, maybe one of you guys know, but it is a hassle having to Google it. It's not a big deal. I mean, it takes like, what, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So it's not a big deal. But it'd be nicer just to be able to look somewhere on the chart. I don't know if Webull or Thinkorswim has that inherently in it. So you were able to end the day green yesterday. Yes, I ended the day green, but I am very disappointed in how I ended green. I did make a recap if you want to watch that. It's like 11 minutes, but yeah, ultimately, what ended up happening yesterday was I ended up revenge trading into this stock, and I had a huge home run trade. I bought 2 cents from the bottom here, but it was a completely invalidated trade. I hit max loss and walked away and ended up coming back, so very disappointed in how I made that money back. Weeble will tell you the name of the ticker under the profile tab. Profile tab. I'll look into that. I don't know what you mean by profile tab specifically. Well, I can check it right now, I suppose. Let's see here. Account. Because like on the main Weeble thing, I don't see anything for profile. So where would I navigate to for that? I'm looking at widgets too here. Okay, I see profile. Oh, okay, I see here. All right, give me one moment. Maybe I can integrate this so it shows up here. Let's see. Detach. Change this to the group. Yeah, I'll switch back here. I have the profile thing. So this is the profile tab. I'm pretty sure this is what you're talking about with the widget. Let me just go ahead and confirm with you real quick. Yeah, it's a widget. Yeah, I don't see it say here, like, this is China. But I'm looking through this, and this doesn't scream at me China. Right, it talks about exporting fungi, bamboo. Right, rice. So yeah, you have some like keywords that are suggestive of China, but I don't see it say that. Need to expand it? Okay. Ah, gotcha. Okay. I see. Okay, so, this might be something nice just to put on somewhere. That's interesting how if I like shrink it too much, it truncates that so you can't see. All right, like cancels out the name and like just gives a briefer summary. Well, that's cool. I'll probably put that down here for now. I'll try using that today. I'll just have this at the bottom of the screen. If I find it helpful, maybe I can somehow integrate it so you guys can see it too. That way we can just immediately see what the stock is. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And while we've been doing all this, it looks like we've had this pull back a good bit. High volume too. AZI moving? I'll take a look. AZI, also a Chinese company. That was even quicker, right? I just had to update everything and I could tell it was a Chinese company. So that is very cool. Beijing, China. Yeah, that feels a lot more efficient than having to Google each time. So actually, this is another. So we had FAMI. That one rolled over fully. So this is the second Chinese stock we've seen. Now, noteworthy, this does have news. Regains compliance, I suppose. Yes, regains compliance. So interesting daily on how this worked out. So this was out of compliance. And now it's back in. Was there a reverse split recently? Yeah, so I don't see any reverse split news, so for whatever reason, this was just able to recover. NRXP is pulling back quite a bit more now. Super big volume, though. Yeah, drop a photo on Discord. I'll check it out. I don't know if you already did that or if you'll do that afterwards. I'm just going to check Discord real quick, see if you dropped it there. Okay, you didn't. Well, I'll check it later, see if you do drop it there. Yeah, this sell-off is pretty brutal on NRXP. And it's crazy, too, because this looks so strong all the way up to here. Right, and then it's just a complete reversal. This feels a little bit more like going until it doesn't kind of day. Right, FAMI ended up reversing hard. This one looks like it's reversing hard as well. I would say that just because this volume's super high on the backside. See how this one ends up playing. So again here, or well, no, okay. I was going to say this volume came before the news, but the news actually came out here, and it had non-existent volume until this. Yeah, it's another red flag for me. The fact that this gapped up on super, super low volume, and it's a Chinese stock, is a bit worrying. Good morning, Obter. Good morning. You're on a little early, I think. Usually you get on around 8. Yeah, what a rejection. Right, $4 all the way to $3.40 before the bounce. It's a huge rejection. And then it, I mean, to be fair too, right? It bounced super hard after 30-cent recovery. Recall AZI. Yeah, this one moved like 3 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure it did have some kind of reverse split, even though I didn't see it in the news. I could have swore it had a reverse split. Maybe I'm mixing things up. There's so many stocks, so that's possible. But yeah, this one's very whiplashy. Chinese stock. The news is something that people would have been able to know beforehand, so I'm a bit hesitant to just jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, this one ended up rolling over and not bouncing. I mean, you had like one bounce here. That's it. $12-12 split. Yeah, I must have missed it then. I thought it had a split at some point. Yeah, I scrolled through. And I didn't see it. Okay, maybe I just didn't go far enough back then, if that's the case. $50 for one share split announced on 12/9. Yeah. Okay, so I was right. I just didn't go far enough back in the news. I didn't think I'd have to scroll that much. Yeah, so this is a lower float. What is the float on this? 3 million. Makes sense. You look at the last 20 days. The stock, I'll go to the daily, that actually looks cleaner to show. This stock has been very range bound. It's been moving a lot. FAMI surprisingly rugging even harder here. Given that this stock is one that has held up pretty well over the last, we'll say 9 months, the fact that it's this low is actually a bit interesting to me. And on pretty high volume too. We're talking 100,000 per candle. Very strange. Very significant volume coming in. The last two candles have had very high volume relative to this initial move. Let's see if this follows through into anything. Looks like a little bit of a topping tail on these two, but it's nothing too big. Still elevated volume. Even though this is descended, it's still elevated relative to these two. A lot of interest around this $4 level. To me, this for gaining compliance and it being a Chinese stock makes me feel like this is a riskier setup. In at 370 out of 408. Good stuff. Even during the day, this thing ranges quite a bit. 250, 330. Continuing to see elevated volume relative to this first half of the move. And we're in a big consolidation here. This was the first candle that had reduced volume. 59,000. Is the rug? There could be some people that were shaken out here. But this is quite high volume. All right, I suspect if 4 breaks, you're going to see a lot of volume come through. This is a pretty small range. It's just been ranging for the last 10 minutes. Good morning, Dangan. Good morning. If 4 holes, you think it would go to 450? I mean, I have no idea where it's going to go. It's clearly in an uptrend. We did break 4. Let's see how this resolves. Really depends how high this volume is. This isn't crazy high volume. This could be a trap. Yeah, the $4 break wasn't on super high volume, and the follow-through was lower volume recovery. This isn't super bearish. What would have been really bad if both of these candles were higher than this volume. This actually looks a little bullish. Yeah. Huge volume came through up here. Like 100,000. Likely sell orders because it pushed it back down. So someone sold very hard up here. This could be a complete reversal here. I'm really concerned that huge volume pushed this back down. but we'll see. Still staying patient this morning. Not trying to force any trades today. I was tempted to take a trade here. This pullback did look nice in the lower volume. This breakdown of 4, but poor resolution looked appealing. But just didn't trust it. Yeah, no, impressive. I thought with how much selling pressure came through here, I thought this could have just been an immediate reversal, but doesn't appear that was the case. It appears more buying pressure came through. If you're enjoying the stream, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. Helps get this out to more people, and I would appreciate it. But no pressure. Yeah, it looks like we're kind of stair-stepping right now. This is moving up solidly here. It seems like there's a floor. I'm afraid to get involved because it's so late into the move, but... The fact that this is consolidated so long, and even after this push down, it got immediately bought up. You got back in at 403, hold to 440. Good luck. You're pretty close if you're going for 440. Well, it went to 441, so if you tried to sell 440, you did get hit. Got nervous, got out at 437. I mean, that's still a huge hit, right? 4 to 440 or 4 to 437. That's still a pretty good swing. Or 403, yeah. But that's still great. Yeah, I'm just in a very untrustworthy state right now. Got to rebuild confidence. This did look appealing as an entry, and it, I mean, in hindsight, it worked out beautifully. Yeah, the fact that it's consolidated here is interesting. Suppose this is the first instance of this trend breaking. Right, there was a very strong uptrend here, and it broke with this candle. But it still looks so strong. Yeah, and you're still getting huge volume too. It could locate only single-use shares, so I haven't touched it yet because it's been too grindy. Sitting ready if spikes. Otherwise, I'm on the sidelines. Yeah, this has been very grindy. That is a good point. I mean, it was very explosive here, but then after this, it just kind of started to grind, right? It grinded here for like 15 minutes. And even on this breakout, it feels like it's just been stair-stepping. It hasn't really exploded as much as I would have expected for a 3 million shares outstanding. I mean, even looking at the level 2, this actually looks a little bit thick. I'm a bit skeptical about the 3 million figure. Yeah, we got 6 minutes till the top of the hour. I'm more interested in seeing if anything else comes up. And our XP did another drop. This one actually did curl a good bit. This was also kind of a grind, but this one did curl. Now you're getting the sudden flush here. CI still continuing to grind. Did break through the 450s. Yeah, I feel like I'm just watching this one right now. Pretty hard rejection at 450. Yeah, pretty high volume too on it. Almost 300,000 on this push down. This might just be the top. 450 was the top for the past few weeks. Is that true? Yeah, that's a good point. 450 does seem it's around the top here. So we're hitting daily resistance as well. Still elevated volume, 300,000. Actually, maybe even more by the end of the candle. now it's just, now we're in full on sell-off mode. RVSN is moving. It's a penny stock though, so not gonna touch that one. Yes, 3 straight candles down, all very high volume. This looks like significant selling pressure. Yeah, we got 2 minutes till the top of the hour as well, so we'll see if we get anything else appealing. Bit unfortunate that the best candidate, it seems, today was a Chinese stock on compliance news. You could maybe argue I should have trusted this more because this was a stock that performed well in the past. I remember the last time this moved, it also made a big move. So you can maybe argue that would be in favor of it, but just given how high my criteria are right now, given this is a Chinese stock, just didn't feel great. Didn't feel great to get involved with this one. If I recall, this sold off quite a bit too last time. Once it hit peak. It sold off like half of the move. You see, it had an attempted bounce here at this support, but it looks like we've just kind of gone through that. All right, 8 a.m. So we'll see if we get anything new coming up here. Might get good bounce from 360 area like last time. Yeah, this is really where I'm eyeing up as well. Yeah, 360s looks interesting. 380s also looks a bit interesting. Or like, not 380, maybe like 375. 360, 375 looks interesting for a bounce area. Yeah. If you wanted to play it safe, 360s. Given how heavy the selling volume was here, this is a little more bullish because the volume has dried up a little, but the volume hasn't really gone down much either. NXRP dying. Is that NXRP? And our XP. Whew, what is this? Okay, no news on this, just a random 400,000 flush. Yeah, feed moving. You're right, no news on it. Let's see. Oh, look. Let's see. United States company feed. Pretty big volume though, 200,000. But this first push was only 27,000. So this is top heavy at the moment. So interesting how a stock with no news can get this kind of move. Dev's also moving. Also no news. This one has lower volume though. More interested in this. And our XP just totally dying now. Whoever was pumping this here, it looks like they're just dumping hard. Took a stab at 290. Good luck. I mean, the no news makes me think this is going to roll over, but we'll see. Feed with news. Ah, I see that, yeah. Okay, so it just reported late. Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Okay, that reassesses things for me then. Is the eye holding 4? Yeah. I don't really like that AZI sold off in such high volume to that level, though. This looks like a lower float, too. It's an okay catalyst. This is a stock that's really been beaten up. Yeah, 260 would have been the area to buy, I suppose. That looks like support. Yeah, daily resistance at 3. We're at that. After that, probably 320. 326. The volume is super, super high for this kind of float. Assuming it is 1 million. Huge volume here. Very high volume on this candle. Potential topping tail. This could go bad. You added new average 305. Yeah, I don't know. This is very high volume with the topping tail. Doesn't look great. Very consistent volume coming in here. This looks coordinated. Right, this is going to end right at this area, isn't it? Let's see. No, it ended a little above. A little above, but this is still very similar volume. This looks coordinated. Hmm. Volume continuing to increase too. GSIT also moving here. GSIT. Had news at 8. It's only just now really picking up though. Announces government-funded Gemini 2 proof of concept. Yeah, out for a small win. Good stuff. I like this news, but I don't like how this popped up on only 30,000. It's saying there's very high shares for this, but I'm not seeing that on the level 2. Looks thin. He was short on feed last I saw. I don't know if he's still short. I would assume he is. Sweet staying out. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like feed's finally pulling back. Yeah, 320 all the way down to 280s. 260s. Jeez. What the heck? That's a huge rug. Massive volume, too. Hmm. Good stuff, Flip Flop. Yeah, it's feed was nasty. Hmm. SCNX dumped at the same time. Oh, I see that. Heading back to AZI, yeah. It seems like that one's curling a little bit. I'm still interested in G-Sit here if this breaks down a bit more. roller. Go ahead and take a look at that one. Wow. Roller really popping. Yeah. Crazy, crazy move on this one. Partners with crypto.com to enter rapidly growing prediction market space. High Roller Technologies. Okay, so it's a gambling company. This is actually an insane move on this stock. $9. That's way more than the last yearly. Go to 3-year. This is like the highest it's been in the last 3 years. Higher than that. Yeah, this is way, way high. Yeah, 1 million shares came in there. Yeah, this thing's suddenly spiking up 100%. I don't know. Spiking up 100% in 2 minutes. The volume is massive. Partnering with crypto.com is pretty strong of a catalyst, but I'm just afraid of just a massive rug on this. It's a lower float. The spread is surprisingly tight on this. Right? We're having like a 2-cent spread on this. Considering it just went up 100%, that's pretty impressive. Seeing descending volume. Not surprising. 1 million shares just coming in. It's super, super high. For this price too, right? $9 share price. 1 million shares. $9 million of capital. It's a lot just to flow in from this. Yeah. Trade right back at the bottom. Yep. That's how it goes sometimes. Massive recovery on this. Such a crazy move. This has so much range. 650 to 940. I've shorted in the past, but I am not currently shorting. No. This is a crazy move. In 2 minutes, 620 to 1050. You wish you could short this? Hmm. Now it's kind of just ranging here. It's crazy that I'm saying ranging and it's moved over $1 in this candle. And that's what I consider ranging. Yeah, the volume is super, super high on this. Aggressive buyers on it. Yeah, it does seem that way. Yeah. Right. This huge spike here. It's very clear people are aggressively buying in. But likewise, I'm just as afraid of people aggressively selling out. Right? I could totally see a world where this drops $3 in a minute. Yeah. Exactly. This one is very, very dangerous. Ross, did he make 50K on this? Guessing he bought during this then. I guess he could have bought on the front side too, but that, knowing him. Crazy, crazy move. Yeah, these stocks in particular, ones like these, 10-second probably, or 15-second, or a smaller time frame probably works better on something like this. This would need hyper scalping. This wouldn't be something where I would be holding for multiple minutes. Quick scalp for $1 a share. Yeah, good stuff. GSIT has fully recovered as well. But we can't say there was no action today. No, yeah, there's been a ton of action. Even GSIT's breaking back out. This is the one I was watching down here. Yeah. But this hasn't been a grind. This has just been grinding. This hasn't been very quick movement. XAIR. Sudden huge inflow. Announces $5 million private placement. So this is the stock that screwed me. And then I think it ended up rallying after I got stopped out. Yes, I got stopped out here. And then it did this rally. And now we're having a private placement. Placed at the market. Interesting how this dropped initially. Keeps going. Man, it's up to 14 now. That's insane. All right, I'm going to try VAIR or XAIR here. This is good news, and this final push down is low. On this initial breakdown, this was also relatively low. Holy crap, it went to $20. That's insane. Really impressed with ROLR today. That's insane. Made 86K? Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting mixed here. Are these two different announcements? 5 million. They're both 5 million. This one says at the market. And I considered that bullish because I thought that would be at the market. But this one is saying this. So what is this? Are these the same thing? Hmm. ROLR is really just going hand today. Yeah, I'm going to cut this because I think I'm misunderstanding what this is saying. When I saw it said placed at the market, I thought that was 5 million shares at the market, but this is saying something different. Or rather, the actual context seems to be different. Got a big win on ROLR. Good stuff, Telemann. Good stuff. Hopefully prediction market news becomes a theme. It could. I mean, the prediction market, I feel like that's just going to be something that grows over time. I like more GSIT than XAR. Yeah, that was the one I initially wanted to trade, but I ended up focusing away from it. Interesting, too, how this had lower volume here, and now the volume's coming in after. Can't buy it on E-Trade, ROLR. Go ahead and log that trade. In hindsight, I'm going to rate this lower because I misunderstood what the catalyst was saying. Dip finally? I mean, you say dip finally, this could just be the backside, if we're being honest. A nice spike on GSIP, but it just kind of rolled over after. Or no, yeah. Just kind of rolled over after that. In its defense, ROLR is holding up. Yeah, and XAIR continued to go down. You're watching KULR? Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah, that one also... Man, this has actually been quite a good day for activity. It seems like we're entering a warmer market. Like, yesterday was pretty good. Today is very good. We're getting lots of moves like this that are moving well. Awarded 5-year preferred battery supply agreement. Hit that like button, yeah. If you're enjoying the stream. When did we sell ROLR? I'm holding at 12. That's a great price. It's up to you when you want to sell. Preferably while still in profit. This has already gone up quite a bit. The news is quite strong, though. You almost shorted devs. Missed it by a second. Would have been rich. Yeah. Pretty big flush here. 417 down to 390. I'm really surprised ROLR is just kind of consolidating. Like, I really thought it would have rolled over immediately. I can't believe devs went all the way back down. It's actually insane. Even going red. Watching ALOG off the news, just in case it spikes. Volume is low so far. Yeah. This did end up breaking out. ROLR consolidating for 20 minutes is insane. Very nice volume coming in here too. ROLR continuing to curl. It's actually insane that this thing is making another push. The MND had a sudden spike here. Had news 5 minutes before. Stock is heavily suppressed. 260s is natural resistance. Bought at 1550, just sold at 1850. Good stuff. Just be careful when picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. I feel like I keep just letting these things on the sidelines and they're running without me lately. What a crazy pump to 100,000. Seems like a lot of stocks that are initially getting decent news are just ripping. Although this did come all the way back. Coming up on the top of the hour. Feels like the time has just flown by for me today. I've been watching all these stocks running on the side. Sorry you're late. No, no worries, man. No worries. Good to see you. Probably not going to be on here too much longer, unfortunately, but glad you stopped by. The stock I liked the most was GSIT, definitely. Both the stocks that I liked actually ended up running without me. I've been really hesitant to pull the trigger today. I wanted to buy here, and kind of kicking myself because this one ran. KULR was the other one I was interested in. I wanted to buy it. Where was it? I think it was here I wanted to buy KULR. One of these two candles at the low. Those are the two I was really wanting, and both of them would have worked. The third one was me misunderstanding the catalyst, and this actually ended up selling off hard. I thought this was a at the money purchase, private placement, meaning they would buy at the price, but that's not how that actually works. So I just misread it, and once I saw that, that kind of just invalidates the whole setup. And yeah, this one ended up rolling over. I lost like 8 cents on it here or something. But yeah, I mean, we've had so many stocks run today, so it's kind of sad to see that I've missed basically all of them. But it is what it is. All right, I am trading on reduced size in trader rehab. I am more hesitant to get involved with the market. So that's just the case. And if I end up missing these hot days because of it, then it is what it is. Right? I gotta fix it. I feel like I did better today. I was probably overcorrected. I need to try and expose myself a bit more tomorrow, regardless of if it's hot or not. But I was really, really hesitant to touch anything today. Yeah, we had so many stocks. I mean, some of them, like Feed, some of these stocks did end up fully reversing. But even Feed initially, right? This popped very well initially. I don't think a lot of stocks popped and sold off immediately. I think if you just mass bought stocks that popped on news, I think in general you made money today. Sold out of ROLR for 500 profit. Might try to give it back if it dips to 15 or so. Well, good luck if you do. I'm really surprised ROLR is holding the way it is. The fact that it spiked up the way it did here, I really thought when we saw this topping tail, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's done. It's gonna go all the way back or give back half or whatever. The fact that it's holding this high is incredibly surprising to me. I don't want to touch it, but I am bullish on it. All right, this is very impressive that it's held like this. Just look at a couple other stocks, see if anything's potentially in play or close to in play. Since there's so many stocks that could do something, I don't want to just leave immediately. Ooh, wow, CMND. Wow. Okay. Yeah, 210 or 310 to 240. That's rough. Yeah. I don't really see anything else I think would be immediately in play to keep me here. Oh yeah, I forgot about FAMI. Forgot about this one. Yeah, okay, so this one did end up rolling over pretty quick as well. All right, I think I'm going to call it there. Today was a slower day for me, a very fast and hot day for the market. I was really trying to not pull the trigger. Only took one trade today as a result, and it was a loser, so that kind of stings a little, but is what it is. I'll go ahead. Tomorrow, I'm still going to have the reduced size, but I'm going to try and put a little bit more pressure on stocks. Yeah, you're heading out as well. Well, you have a good one. Yep, you all have a good rest